Welcome back. We are here for the Between Stars and Suns, Season 2, Episode 20. Yikes. Whew. Okay, so yeah, we were just debating on what the hell needs to happen, or what the hell were they going to do from last time. The hunters had not decided to answer any questions after a bit of debate, because there was just, it's close, but not quite. Too many negatives being that were going to be rolled on, and nobody wanted to do that, which I understand completely. However, in looking at the hunters, welcome back, Sarah, for Ernest to be back in the fray. Everybody except for Liat has 3 conditions. And what that means mechanically is that if they gain another condition, that means that they're going to have to put on a mask to cover that anyway. And that could be a problem for Sir Atticus. So yeah, everybody's on the edge at the moment, except for Liat. Great. No, we did not solve King in Shadows. Nobody answered any questions.
Oh, we didn't? Oh, I'm
No?
confusing that with the other King Shadows.
So yeah, we did not answer King in Shadows, which means that in this night phase, we are heading into the 3rd of 4 nights for this. So yet another time pressure for the hunters. Yeah, King in Shadows has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 clues on the board for a 6 complexity. St. Petersburg Mirror has 2 clues on the board for, well, I mean, if you want to answer if the St. Petersburg Mirror is genuine, you could conceivably answer that. And then there's also the complexity 4 and the complexity 6 question. And the Beast, that has 5 clues on the board. Didn't seem like you wanted to use the 4 complexity question. You wanted to try and answer the 6, but yet you are missing 1 clue from just rolling a straight roll for that. So it was decided not to answer any questions. No rolls were made. And so, yes, this night phase will be wonderful and interesting and dangerous. It's going to be great. So I ask you all, what do you plan on doing for this particular night phase with all of those threats on the board?
I know what I want to do.
You want to have a date with the Beast, yeah?
I do.
Okay. Where do you want this date to happen?
Hargrave House, of course.
Sir Atticus, what would you like to be doing this evening?
I want to engage with the King in Shadows, given that... Is this our final night phase, or is next time our final night phase?
Next time.
Next time. This is 3 out of 4.
Don't want to go toe-to-toe with the Beast. Yeah, I want to engage with the King in Shadows. That's kind of pressing.
Okay. Yeah, could totally do that. We'll have to head back to society.
I feel like Ernest has just been in the wings and eyeballs, invisible though they might be, eyeballs deep in the King in Shadows while ignoring all of the Hargrave House duties. So I feel like that's a natural spot for me to pop up again.
Okay. I think, well, I mean, if that is the case, I'm going to say that maybe perhaps Ernest has been in his cups and maybe watching some of these photo shoots that are happening during the day over at the society, if he hasn't deigned to come back to Hargrave House. So he's kind of just hanging out with the Obscura and just seeing what they're up to. They're
I like to think that half of my time is spent wistfully, completely, invisibly naked in the corners, watching the photo shoots happen and wishing that I could somehow still be seen in that regard.
mm,
And then the other half is me, lounging on a chaise longue in my masks, watching so everyone could see me.
could be either way. I mean, goodness knows they have enough rooms to be able to engage, but maybe they're like not questioning a thing. Um, all right. So that was that. And Dr. Weiss, where are you going to be?
Well, Sir Atticus has finally gone and sort of investigate something else for once, rather than dealing with this giant monstrosity. It still concerns me, though. However, but I think I am technically calling on my effectively goon squad, Harley, and his group of grave diggers. Typically, I send them out to collect body parts, but now I'm calling on their aid to help deal with this Riley play. Like, it's out of control. Like, people are disappearing, and I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the end goal is, and we need to find that out.
Yeah, sounds about right. Okay. Just want to figure out at this point where everybody is, and if you guys want to have very, very short scenes with each other before we get night phase started, because like Liat wants to entertain the beast at Hargrave House. I just want to just take a little peek over at the list to see how that is. And then Sir Atticus and Dr. Weiss, you're heading to Society Obscura. And Ernest, are you already there?
I am. I think
Okay.
at this point in the evening, I'm smoking the last of my stolen tobacco from Sir Atticus, just draped on a chaise longue. And my Noah mask this evening is that of an elephant with tiny, tiny tusks and a tiny, tiny trunk.
We're going to go to... Actually, I have to ask a question of Liat. Liat, what kind of preparations are you making to have this thing come to Hargrave? To welcome it to Hargrave?
She'd been doing some research here and there after hearing about after the discussion with Sir Atticus about who this creature was. And she knows she has to figure out a way to get it to appear. And so I think that she has had she gave Abdurrahman a rather sizable purse to go and fetch something from the local juvenile boys detention center, wherever that might be, to pick up a snack for Rawhead.
Just be mindful of safety.
Yeah. That's why
Okay.
I didn't get into details.
Okay, great. Alrighty. And then I guess Sir Atticus, Dr. Weiss, what kind of preparations are you making to go ahead over to, excuse me, Society Obscura for the next performance of the play?
Getting my weapons together. I'm ready to go. I figure we go in backstage, we figure out who's orchestrating this play, and we take them to task. I'm a legacy. I do one thing really well, and it's violence, and I'm especially bloodthirsty tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've already said what I'm doing to prepare. I'm getting Harley.
Yep. Okay. Where are you planning on receiving the beast, Liat? Out in the garden? In the house? What are you planning on doing?
In the house, she knows, at least from certain folklore, that that the beast likes to appear under spaces beneath the stairs. So I imagine that there's like a small closet beneath the main staircase where she promises whatever young boy comes that there are sweet treats and work to be done there, and she will wait until Mr. Rawhead is satisfied with the offering, and she'll be making tea, or at least overseeing Abdurrahman make tea while she waits.
Okay. All right, so let me go ahead and introduce an unseen. And if this has been done before, I apologize, but I see that there's names designated, but for whatever reason, we actually didn't do it. Or at least I don't see any answers, so this is what we're going to do tonight. We are going to be doing line 51, first one there, evening promenade in Covent Garden. Okay, so I will read off the prompt and then we will commence with night phase. Covent Garden houses a large market, selling mostly fruit, vegetables, and fresh flowers, recently covered by a new market building. While most of the stalls have packed up by the time dusk falls, the area is still ablaze with visitors. Both the Royal Opera House and the Theatre Royal can be found here. And while it has cleaned up its image a little, it still has a reputation for hosting ladies of the evening. First prompt is paint the scene. I'm just going to read off the names for the remaining prompts. Second prompt is Jack, third prompt is Mike, and fourth prompt is Sarah. Okay? But paint the scene, first prompt is for everyone. As crowds gather for evening performances and market porters clear down stalls, describe how this place is a crossroads for all strata of London society.
We see that there are a mix of mostly couples, but most of them look at least middle class, if not well-to-do. But amidst them, we see the occasional beggar weaving through, the occasional beggar on the side asking for coin, the occasional pickpocket sliding between the crowd, trying their best to score from different pockets of passerbyers. But we see the very kind of like lowest of the low as far as the cast is concerned. We don't see maybe the upper echelons of society here, but we do at least see those who are willing to sort of put on their evening finest and use their coin to spend the money to have a nice night on the town.
Among those couples walking down the cobblestones as the purveyors kind of latch hook their stalls closed for the evening, you could observe the distinguishing feathers between those who could afford to maintain them and buy new boas and fascinators for their hats and heads, and those well-worn ladies of the evening coming out and starting to approach the lamplights with sections of their own feather collars torn and patchy.
I think that while most of the stalls are packing up, there's a couple enterprising individuals who are selling food, whether to take into the theaters or something to eat on the go. They're affordable enough that the more impoverished can still afford it. But if you're going to the theater, you simply must take something along, and well, it's right there. So we see this disparity between those haves and have-nots eating same food for just a little bit.
I don't really have anything to add.
I think as Sir Atticus and Dr. Weiss, as you make your way to Society Obscura, do you take a cab or do you walk?
Cab, why not? Get there as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I think as you take your cab, strangely enough it is no shared cab, not much activity leading from Hargrave House over to Society Obscura. And it's quiet. A little too quiet. And I think the cab slows as it nears the street where the society has its townhouse and suddenly comes to a stop.
Okay, I'll lean out the door and just say, what's going on?
A muffled voice from the box will say, "There seems to be something in the road, sir."
Good God, man, you can't drive around. I will get out a bit frustrated to see what could possibly stop a carriage that he can't just go around. Absolutely unprofessional. I've had a mind to just take the cart and drive it myself.
As you come out of the cart, I think as you come out of the cab, I think you will see a shadow of the driver jump off the box as you make your way to the front. But before he does, or they do, they will snap the reins, and then the carriage goes barreling with Dr. Weiss in the cab still. Down the street.
Okay. Carriage, no driver.
No driver.
I cannot catch up to a horse on foot. What do I have around me? What assets do I have?
Like, your weapons. You have like the streets that you could go on. I mean, I think you've done your nightly patrols perhaps, and then that you could conceivably parkour your way up to the rooftops. Maybe an easier.
There are other carriages.
There are.
Guess I'm living up to exactly what I said. I'm going to step up to one of the just jump up to where one of the drivers are.
He protests, but sees your face and just, all right. And then, he'll get the hell out of the way as soon as he can, seeing the other one barrel past. But yeah.
We're going. This guy is driving this cart and getting us at least as close as we can to the runaway cart.
Yep. Dr. Weiss, you are in the cab. I mean, would you say that you have sent Harley on ahead to the society, or do you think that you have at least him with you guys? Or you did?
I was assuming that at least I did bring Harley with me, just to sort of introduce Sir Atticus to Harley, so Sir Atticus can know what's this weird ass guy that I'm bringing along, and not accidentally, I don't know, stab him or something.
You have people? What?
Yeah, I have connections, Sir Atticus. I have both connections on Scotland Yard, the local Gravediggers Association, various medical hospitals.
So you and this guy are trapped in this runaway cart.
Yes.
Apparently. So, night move, because Harley's just as shocked as you are. It's like, what's this? So what? They didn't sign up for this bit. And then, so you're getting tossed around a bit in the carriage as it's just pretty much careening down the street. So night move. What do you think
the carriage will crash, Mads. What else do you want us to need to say?
I mean, I'm not gonna make it worse because, we have imaginations, I'm sure. But yeah, so, do you want to roll with vitality to try to get out, or do you want to just stay with composure to see if you can keep your cool as best as you can in this predicament?
I cannot let this carriage get overrun because I also do not want it to run over people.
Sure.
And hopefully Sir Atticus is out of the way. So that is a concern of mine.
Right.
And so you see this scene of John Weiss shouting at Harley to keep calm, to help him get out of the carriage without falling off and whatnot. Right. So we can wrangle these horses.
Okay.
So.
Alrighty. So I leave it up to you. Serious ass composure or vitality to get your butt up on the box to get the reins.
This is vitality, Mads. I'm getting the reins.
Okay.
But I do get advantage because Harley is helping me.
Yes, 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 he is.
That is good. That is okay. Not good enough. 9.
Okay. Well, I mean that's still something. So tell me how you succeed in trying to get control of the carriage.
But yeah, I think like the door, I think like very cinematically, like the door swings open. I think like we get too close to like a building or so up, and there goes the door, and like I think like the carriage swerves again, and like I'm climbing up, and like I like Harley is like has me like by the back of my coat and is trying to lift me up as like I'm scrambling on top. It's very undignified, but it's working despite it all, and I think I got hold of the reins.
Complication. I will give you a complication as soon as.
Uh,
So
I have to know whether or not it is a condition because I do have to.
it will not be a condition. It will be something that happens.
Ooh.
Sir Atticus, what are you doing before I switch to something less frenetic?
Fact.
Yeah.
I mean, if the carriage that I'm on is manages to pull up next to the cart that John has taken over, then simply put, jump off at, pull alongside, jump off, get onto the one that John is driving.
Oh, if it were only that easy. Night move, of course. As you're trying to catch up, you're trying to get alongside, you're trying to help control, or as you say, seeing that it is under control, trying to jump onto their carriage.
Yeah, I'll just jump onto the carriage. No worries, no problem.
No worries, no problem. Night move. What do you think will happen if you fail or lose your nerve?
I'm gonna just absolutely miss the card and eat it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna say that you, at the very worst, you get tangled up in the horses and the reins, and there's gonna be yeah, this quarter will take a whole new meeting.
Okay. I do not believe any of my conditions apply in this case. So
Did not believe so. Let's see. Nope.
all right. That is 2 and a 6. Plus my 3, bringing it up to an 11.
Jesus H, you had me so worried. Hate you. Oh my god.
I had to.
Holy crap. Didn't want to see my Sir Atticus splattered on the ground. Okay. Tell me how you succeed on this.
As was said in chat, this is a very Victorian Fast and the Furious. I am jumping from the roof of one moving carriage to another moving carriage and just balancing precariously atop it. Maybe giving a loud hoot. We ride!
Well, that is cinematic, I will say. Holy crap.
And now we cut to the quieter scenes, I guess.
Yes. I'm gonna say that yeah, you know what? I'm gonna give you your complication when we come back, Dr. Weiss. All right. Let's go over to Ernest, who is at the Society Obscura. Oh my gosh. And the performance has started. You wander out of whatever corner that you've I guess gotten dressed, and the performance is well underway. It's got the Greek style chorus piping in the background again, narrating the story with the family members, mother, father, brother, in the bizarre fishing accident for Act 1. I have a question. Since you've been here, how do you feel? I mean, the Greek chorus are wearing masks as well. and they are saying their lines, of course, in their usual chant or poetic meter. And you're familiar with this story now that you've seen it a few times. How do you feel?
I think that Ernest has injected himself into a sensory experience. He's that Uber fan that has seen the show too many times and now is mouthing along the words and adding extra music out loud to the section of people around him, and occasionally getting up and gesticulating, and people don't quite know with my mask if I'm part of the performance or not. I'm just I feel at peace. This is precisely the sort of avant-garde show that I've been striving for.
I feel like, God.
No, I'm in the audience adding my own musical interlude.
No, I know, but I mean, I
This
feel
nonsense.
like I'm playing a different game at the moment. I feel like I want to make you like do a ruin roll, but it's not the right game.
Sorry, yes.
No, because I mean, like, it would essentially be
I am playing into my own danger. I get it.
you are. I'd hate to do this to you, but it's here. You're here and you're enjoying yourself. Boy, howdy. So I want to say night move. This has to affect your psyche, basically. I mean, like you're falling into it, and I think
What's left of it?
what's left of it, sure, yeah. I mean,
Night move. I am vulnerable. I really feel like between that and All the World's a Song, do you want it at disadvantage?
yeah. Unless you have something in your personal quarters to keep you grounded.
Ooh, I
for
should
this.
absolutely do that.
I mean, and you can use composure or sensitivity, whichever you think that would help you in this
Okay.
particular instance, because yeah, you're already rolling it. You're at a crossroads at this point.
It's been a life-changing, if not consuming, experience for Ernest.
Serious. So I mean, like, you got anything keeping you grounded in your personal quarters?
Here's what it's gonna be.
Okay.
I am wearing a silk kimono and a mask. It's got like a nice feathery ruff and sleeves and nothing else. And something about this sort of like disembodied puppetry is both enchanting for the audience and allows Ernest to disassociate from some of the otherworldly play nonsense.
Sure.
Would you buy
Okay.
into that?
Yeah, no, I'll take that parlay, sure. Let's see how it affects you for your roll.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll roll flat.
Yep.
Presence at a
Okay.
+1 for an 8.
8. Still better than a miss, so that's good.
6 and a 1. Dice can't decide if they love me or not today.
No, that's good. All right. Night move. So, yeah, I mean, like, I assume, like, everything that you're saying, especially with your accoutrement, I mean, like, yeah, that's what's keeping you together. And so you are, yeah, you're involved, you're immersed, but yet you are still not quite.
I'm in my own Rocky Horror reaction version.
Yeah, that's so
this
true. That's what
play
it felt.
right
That's what
now.
it feels like. Right. And I feel like, you get the attention of, well, I mean, I should say, like, you're acting as kind of like the supplemental chorus. And so you're doing your thing with your own take, your own riff on it. And I think out of the shadows, off to the side, beyond the chorus, beyond the main protagonists of this act, excuse me, you see what looks like out of the shadows this great thing in dark robes, not black, not brown, not gray, just a mix match of all to come blended out of the shadows, culminating into this very large mask. Looks like kind of too elongated too stretched out of bleached bone and darkened eye sockets and horns that look like a crown atop its head. And it emerges out of the shadows and kind of looms over all, but you can tell those sockets are looking at you right now. Before I go to Liat, is there anything that Ernest is doing in reaction to this?
I think that I'll just walk in my kind of sing-songy sort of performing sort of way across the front, like of the where the audience would be, not on the stage but before it, and then kind of make my way into the wings, kind of casting myself off from this kind of interactive role and moving once again myself into the shadows. I would hope opposite stage from where I saw this presence descend.
So you feel like you're melding more into the into the wings, away from this creature?
Correct.
Okay. So I think you fall you fall into the velvet folds of the wings going into the backstage, and as you're going further in, like you let's just say you're backing out and you're keeping your eyes on this thing to see if it's going to come any closer and like, move any further or acknowledge you more than it has already. And as you're backing in, you feel like you're falling into like a soft bed, even though you're already vertical. But then the curtains, these velvet curtains and folds, start getting heavier and heavier as they envelop you. Liat, I will give you complication after this. Okay, Liat.
Yeah.
I think calmly brewing tea in the kitchen as you're waiting for your guest.
Yeah, just waiting, listening to the sounds, waiting till it's over, and just making sure that Abdurrahman is adding the right amount of honey.
Forgive me, Sir Atticus, if I'm not doing this fully completely according to your notes. But I think from the stair, I think you hear what sounds like partially like sucking sounds and dragging sounds and a bit of a crunch, crack of bone. And I think in view comes this creature. It is, charnel in the barest of sense, and it's moving. Maybe you see its stag's head kind of maneuvering around the door, looking at you, Liat, like you see the horns first and then the stag's head stripped and then the rest of its body, which isn't very much, but it seems so sinewy and yeah.
Well, before we get too deep in, I do have
Yeah.
to roll because of my move.
Okay.
So it's going to be, let me just double check what it is. It is sensitivity, I think. Just check. Yes. No, it's presence actually. Presence. Let me see if I want to try and offer up something as a advantage sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't have anything, so I'm just gonna wing it.
Okay.
So that's presence. So that is a 8 plus a 3, so that's an 11.
Okay.
So on a 10 plus, I get to choose 3 of the thing. I get to ask 3 questions, and I take no conditions. And the keeper must provide at least 2 clues pertaining to the threat.
Okay. Give me a sec. Alrighty. All right. And you skate away from the conditions yet again. Damn.
I'm like Teflon baby.
Serious. Oh my God. Or like the beautiful lotus that you are. Yep. Alrighty. Choose 3 of those. Ooh, things. Sorry.
So my questions to be would be what have I done in the past to earn your trust? Actually, no, I don't think they've met. This seems more Western.
You had to research this
Yeah.
thing, so.
So then it would be, what do you desire most in the world? Why do you want to remain in London? And what secret do you know about Hargrave House?
Mm. Let's just say that it makes noises as it makes its way to sitting across from you at this table. And this stag's head will loom over you, very, not aggressively necessarily, but kind of like with a measured look, even though it doesn't have any actual eyes. And it will. Did you offer it a cup of tea?
Yeah, I imagine that there's an empty teacup at the other end of the table,
Okay.
and Liat is seated there. Imagine it's sort of like it's a bit like a sort of like, if you've ever seen like the painting of The Kiss by Gustav Klimt, it's a sort of like metallic geometric shapes,
Yeah.
sort of long robe that she's wearing.
Got it.
But yeah, she's sort of casually sitting across from Mr. Rawhead, and she'll say, "Oh, well, I trust that you enjoyed my little present for you."
The growl comes not from its mouth, but it comes from deep within, as if the pieces it's made of are rumbling its reply. And it just says, delectable.
Yes. Well, please do sit if you can, and drink if you can. It's a very fine vintage of oolong. They don't make the flower anymore. I believe it's extinct. And yeah, Abdurrahman will pour a cup for Mr. Rawhead if he so likes. Do you take cream, honey, sugar?
Sweetness of body already taken.
Of course.
And again, it will lower its stag's head skull to the cup, but you don't see it drink, but you hear slurping sounds of some sort. So. And then it brings its very odd fingers to its mouth. And then you hear what sounds like, how people will, like suck on their fingertips, like, with
Like slurping sound.
Kinda, yeah. Seem to like xenomorph mouths in this show. You don't see that in here for Tommy Rawhead. But at any rate, do you ask these questions in turn?
Yeah. I mean, we can role play the conversation if you like, but yeah, those are the 3 questions that she's most interested in knowing information about.
Okay, I'm going to answer the second one first. Why do you want to remain in London? And let me just make sure that I'm not reusing any of the clues that are already on the board for this. I think in answer to your why is it remaining in London, I think it will reach, after it delectably tastes its fingers, I think it's almost like the arm reaches into itself, in its innards, and then slowly starts to pull something out that looks rather bloody. And what the beast pulls out is a cleric's robe torn to shreds. That's its answer to that particular question.
Ah, yes, piety.
You hear it smile and its growl as it says, "That symbol, of course, but also perhaps a person."
Oh,
And the second question, or yeah, the next question is, what do you desire most in the world? Yeah. In response to what Tommy desires in the world, I think he will pull from a different part, as if he's reaching down, and then like you hear some movement cracking as if things are moving aside like twigs, and you see something that looks rather beat up, not torn, scratched, frayed, and it turns out to be an album of photos, all of which are, well, when you look in them, when you look in the album as it hands it to you, it will turn the pages with its rather bony, sharded fingers, and each of the pictures, one on each page, looks like some sort of eerie nature shot, either taken at a raw or odd angle, or as if the person who's taking the picture is looking up at a surrounding bank of trees, bony branches. And lastly, what secret does it know about Hargrave House? It motions for more tea.
of course. And she'll just sort of, still looking at it in its eye sockets, she'll just wave over Abdurrahman, and he'll, of course, he'll pour another cup of tea. But if you want to move on to the next unseen, just because I don't know what else I would do other than the
Sure.
tea party yet.
Sure. I'll literally reserve the last answer then for after unseen number, prompt number 2. Jack, a young girl sells bouquets outside the flower hall, made up from the leftovers of the day's trade. Who comes to her to buy, and who are they taking the flowers to?
We see 2 gentlemen. One is kind of a wiry build, pallid and sickly looking. The other one's sort of squat and disheveled. Both of them are wearing what should be finery, but it's a little bit outdated. It's a little bit threadbare. But they seem to be able to pull enough money to buy this bouquet, at least, this sort of piecemeal bouquet from this young girl. And the tall, wiry gentleman says nothing but takes the flowers as they are offered, and the squat one tips his hat and thanks the young girl. "Thank you, Mom," as he gives the young girl a couple pennies for the thoughtful bouquet. When they take this bouquet, we can see them walking down the cobblestones, and it's the first time we sort of follow anyone out of the garden for this evening. We don't follow them all the way, but we can see that they're making their way to a nearby cemetery, and we don't see who they give what grave they lay the flowers on, but we can tell that these two gentlemen have used whatever means they can to pay their respects to whoever they can, despite their own meager earnings and living situation.
All right. So, Sir Atticus, it's like you have you have straddled the carriages, and perhaps you have helped, along with John, to pull them up from uh, trampling any passerbys or anyone in the way, or possibly will get in the way, and preventing collateral damage. As well as John, you have done your best to make sure that you've taken control of the reins with Harley's help, and you have been able to slow it down. But I think as you are doing this, since you are doing it frenziedly, you weren't able to really take your time. I think you have sprained your wrist. I know this is a complication with another condition. I'm so sorry.
This is sounding like a condition, Mads.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to figure out how to complicate your life. Hold on. Oh wait, I know. Never mind. Okay, rewind that. I think as the carriage is slow, I think you will see. Somehow you've managed to pull them up into a very emptied street. And I think I'll just make it fun. I think you've pulled into a semicircle of dark-clad figures with billycock hats pulled down low over their eyes, and looks like some of them have billy clubs. Exactly, Ernest. Great picture. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. And so they're kind of like different sizes, all of them fairly big. And some of the billy clubs are being slapped into palms.
Oh no.
Looking into some business that ain't yours.
Sir Atticus, I have no idea who these people are.
Dead men.
Oh no.
And Harley's just kind of like he's pulling his cap down over his eyes and just like slinking back into the carriage, into the cab.
Atticus is gonna jump in front of the carriage if these guys are gonna start posturing at John.
Oh yeah.
I would recommend that you surrender now for your own safety. Please back away from the carriage.
And the leader's just like, you can't be serious.
I draw my sword. Lack reach, lad.
Can't take us all on.
Want to bet?
I did warn them.
And yeah, let's go ahead and have a fight.
Yeah.
It's what the legacy does best. So, yeah.
Okay. Vitality?
Yep. All encompassing,
Okay.
sure.
Are you going to impose difficulty due to bloodthirsty?
Yes.
Okay. I will counteract that by marking off the burden.
Okay.
Not the actual mask bit, but
Yeah, no, I know what
Yeah.
you mean.
unless these guys are supernatural. Are they
No.
supernatural shape changers that I can use on my talent? No? Okay. Darn it.
Sorry.
Okay. But yeah. So I roll normally. Yeah. I
Uh-huh.
rolled a 5 and a 6, giving me a grand total of 14.
Oh, hella. All right, great. Yeah, I know I didn't ask you about the whole get wrong. Whatever, doesn't matter. All right, so please tell me how you now, mind you, like the semicircle was, at least 6 guys, all big, like trying to come after you, and then there were maybe a few more coming from the side to back them up.
The second modification of the burden is turning it into a big whip sword. So I just have this bladed whip that gives me area control.
Okay. All
I
right.
don't imagine that these guys are going to die, but they are not going to be bothering anyone else tonight.
I mean,
I am-
they're gonna do their damnedest. I mean, like, they got their billy clubs out. Maybe, like, some of them have some melee weapons or whatever. I don't think anybody has. No, I'm pretty sure nobody has anything like longer than a big dagger. You know.
I want to make a point of shredding this lead gang guy.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, like, you can make it as cinematic as you want. You tell me how this goes, since you have narrative control with the 14.
Very simple. I wrap him in the whip sword and then pull like a Beyblade.
Mm, 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 mm.
He did warn you. And then I'll flick my sword so that it is a sword again, and then get back onto the cart. I feel much better.
If I'm just gonna say that from whom you didn't engage fully with the whip sword, I'm going to say that they are rather bloody from their companions, if not with some nicks of their own, for sure. Okay, so sounds good. John, what are you doing?
Before we go over to John,
Mhm.
as I have engaged in gratuitous violence, may I remove all of my physical and or psychological conditions?
Does it let you do?
Uh, you may remove all emotional or psychological conditions, and then I increase my hunt count, but the beast already exists, so it doesn't matter.
Right, so that part doesn't work. But I mean, like, yeah, sure.
All right.
That's the case. Absolutely. And yes, it's like I was immediately thinking Soul Calibur sword. Yeah, for sure.
I am squeaky clean, ready to go engage with whatever threats face us.
I mean, there might be some casualties here, John.
Always an opportunity. I mean, you be doing the guy a favor at this point.
I mean,
I should assist in the matter. God,
one of them is like, one of them's like, please help me. Like, but barely, kind of just like maybe like a hand like reaching up for some kind of sucker, you know?
mm-hmm.
Do you,
This is going to be a very very funny interpretation of a condition I have.
okay.
It sort of got cut off, but the condition is there are more important things in life.
Uh-huh.
And well, Sir Atticus is all right, and he's the most important, and he did try to kill these people. I should assist in making sure that they don't get up again.
Do you say that out loud, or is that the thought in your head?
That's the thought in my head.
Okay.
Besides, I don't think Sir Atticus is paying much attention to me.
No,
He's reveling in the hunts.
for sure. For sure. But I mean, like, I will give you this chance to do what you want to do, as you do.
Yeah. Oh, I think these are some very, very. I think with all the sort of corpses, effectively, there's a lot of chance to get some marvelous, marvelous blood.
Okay.
At least that's the one thing that probably would go unnoticed by Sir Atticus.
Oh God, yeah, for sure. I mean, if you got your handy bag with you, like,
Mhm.
in the carriage and stuff, I mean, like, you can make sure they're okay, but yeah, You can totally indulge and check that off for sure. And I won't make you do the body part thing until like later on. So, okay, and getting blood. All right, Ernest, you were, excuse me, you were being folded into the, yeah, you were being subsumed by the curtains. God dang it. You've fallen back into the curtains. It's almost as if you're being, like, the weight is heavier. You're being smothered. You're being, like, swallowed up by the folds. And then you back into what looks like light. And when you turn around, you find yourself in the night tap.
I feel like I just left this place.
And the bartender, will, welcome you back and say, "Oh, your usual then?"
Of course, my good man. Were we not just on stage, or is this now the extension of the... And Ernest sits down at a stool, and pensively as one can invisibly sit in a silk kimono and a mask, put his invisible fist up against his mask and puzzle, momentarily looking at his drink.
Did you say you were wearing nothing else except for those, the feathery...
Kimono and mask.
I think here, now, I think you will see your hands, Ernest. You'll see your arms.
I reached to pick up the drink and I lifted an inch up off the bar and dropped it as I noticed the lines on the inside of my palm for the first time.
Yep.
I can't even remember. I flex my fingers.
Do you need another drink? You all right?
I gesture rudely at the bartender, just to see if he can see my hands as well.
Well, that was a bit rude. I just asked you what you wanted.
Well, I dropped it. I must want another. I'm sorry. This is... Yes. Thank you. And then nothing more.
That's right. It's like you can only do so much of a tab if you're going to be an ass about it. And then he kind of like shoves another mug your way and then wipes down the bar like opposite you while giving you the side eye. And yes, you are able to see your hand. And
if I shakily pick up my glass again and turn away from the bar and look at the rest of the tap, do I see players that were on stage moments ago? Could I perhaps do an investigation of what surreal nonsense this must be and glean a clue?
Absolutely.
Having been steeped in this weirdness for weeks at this point, or at least days.
Yep.
It feels like weeks.
Yes, you totally can.
I don't even care.
Because I'm making it real weird for you. I mean,
I'm guessing not presence, more like this is pretty supernatural, isn't it?
Sensitivity for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't have anything to add to my sensitivity, but it doesn't matter because I rolled an 11.
Wow. Nice.
I can see my hands and I can see clearly now the rain is gone.
Oh my god, I was starting to sing it in my head too. That's great. Yikes. Future performance. I'm just making sure I'm not doing the same clue. What do you notice as you're looking in here? Let's see. To add to the surreality of this whole business, those people that you recognize as being the players, the chorus, the, protagonists of the performance that you've seen before. Of course, you recognize them. Even without their masks. Somehow you recognize them without their masks. you see them like dislodged or like kind of hanging from their faces or like off to the side, and then you see them in all their human form per se. But you notice that there's like starting to be like they're slightly off. Each one of them has something wrong with their face, as if there is another face growing off of a cheek, or maybe there's an extra eye, or maybe one of their corners of their mouth is sagging or frowning or smiling. And one by one, each of them, as you look at them and they see you looking at them, they will say one word each. I know your secrets. I know your secrets. And they're like all looking at you as they chant each of the words, almost in the same meter as their chorus. But they're all looking at you with their strange faces, all one word at a time, saying they know your secrets. That is your clue.
I think that Ernest, watching his own hand and fingers clench the tankard in front of him, will lift it aloft and turn dramatically and grasp at the trunk of my own mask and remove it. And you can see even in the corners of my eyes that have crinkled and are starting to pull too tight. And I say back to the chorus, suit action to the word to the action. With this special observance that you overstep the modesty of nature. For anything overdone is the purpose of playing, whose end, both first and now, is to hold as toward a mirror up to nature, to show the virtue of her own features, to scorn her own image, and the very age of the body, time, form, and pressure. And you see Ernest strip his kimono and run butt naked out of the tap into the streets of London.
I was gonna say, I was gonna make it even more. I was gonna make it. Yeah, I was gonna make it even more. A little bit more. Give you a little bit more terror, but you ran, so that's fine.
I rolled an 11. I'm gonna.
I know. It's fine.
I've run away. I'm vulnerable and
Okay.
I'm defaced and I'm tired.
Okay. All right. Oh my gosh. It's like, because every time that you have the opportunity to do something about it, it's like, it's like you can't be here for vulnerable moves. Although, no, let's not that stop us, because conceivably, once you find one of the others, you could conceivably do a vulnerable move, at least a quick one.
Some point
Because I've allowed that
in the future.
before. Yeah, exactly. All right, and Liat, I think as we see Ernest running off into the night, I think you are still visible running out of the night tap. But then as you leave the immediate vicinity of the night tap and then you run into the night, I think your visage fades and all we see now left is
Ernest
like maybe
running
the
through a
sleeves
patch
and then the
of
yeah.
Ernest running through a patch of like late night London fog, and as you see him passing through the mist, you no longer see him at
Exactly.
all.
Yeah.
Oh, gorgeous.
Yeah. Exactly. And Liat, I think the Tommy Rawhead has gotten back to the end of the book and will take it gently from your hands, and you see these strange, misshapen finger hands like take it and put it onto the table, And you ask that final question of what secret does it know of Hargrave House? And Tommy will stand. You hear the chair moving backwards with a screech, but all you can see is this figure, this shape, like almost growing out of the chair, and then kind of bent and cracking and looming, so the stag's head will be above your face. And you hear it growl from inside itself, not from a mouth that's discernible. You'll hear it say, "There are oracles here. There are trees that grow. Yeah. An old prophecy makes this place be, is, was, always." And as it says those last words, you hear a cracking, as if something is breaking somewhere in the house. Like twigs breaking, branches. But you don't know where it's coming from.
Doraemon, dear, go check on that, wherever it's coming from. See to it that it's not ruining anything of mine. Mr. Rawhead, this has been wonderful company. I do appreciate everything that you've given me tonight, and I can only hope that you appreciate what I have given you.
And then there is something that will open. Like you see stretch of sinew and skin moving from underneath the stag's head and then going into its form. As you hear that weird, dry, chuckle, burble laugh. And it will not say anything more. But
just a moment, dear. And Liat will pick up a nearby handkerchief and sort of just dab the blood away from its lower jaw, from, where he ate. Don't want you going outside like that now, do we?
it will stop and pause and look at you with its empty sockets. Question.
Of course, Mr. Rawhead.
Why do you care? And we're going to go to the third unseen. Mike, what scenes of high drama do we see play out on the stage of the Royal Opera House, and how do we see these same tragedies and romances play out on the street outside?
Outside, we see a wealthy man shouting after a woman and demanding that she come back home with him. There is a poorer man who stands up for her defense, draws a knife, declaring that she will go where she pleases. And we leave this to go into the theater, where we see a similar face-off, rich man versus a poor man, and they flin for a bit, waving around rapiers, and eventually the poor man triumphs. True love wins out in the end. And we hear cheering from the crowd inside, a kiss between the defended lady and her would-be rescuer, and we pan back outside of the theater, and we just see a man bleeding in the street, the woman being carried away, and a smoking gun being left in this alleyway.
Nice. So there was a question about like what roles to answer the King in Shadows question, and I know that when I ran this for one of the other campaigns, they created their own roles. It's like, you know, who they were meant to be in the production. So as Chaotic had mentioned, it's like, you know, it's up to you all when you answer the question. It's like, what roles do you think you're supposed to fulfill? And then you either fulfill them or you fuck them up to make sure that London goes back to normal. So again, it's like when you decide to answer the question, it's up to you to how you want to interpret the answer. Okay?
Yeah, and as I was saying with the break, I've run the game, this particular threat where where the players just made their own roles, but I've also played it where we just took on the pre-existing roles but created a new play or a new approach to the play. So, it's just whatever theory seems to shake out with whatever clues we have and however we want to approach solving the threat.
Yep.
Sounds good to me. I just know that we have a flat roll, and I figured I would do a little off-camera theorizing in my brain. So thank you for answering that question.
No, absolutely. Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to come out of third brain. So, Dr. Weiss, you are taking care of the people that are here that Sir Atticus had.
I'm easing their suffering. Let's go. Like they are too far gone, and they're in pain. What?
You're doing the humane thing.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So, yeah. I mean, if you want to do the body part now, if you want to wait until later, you can totally do that. What would you like to do at this juncture?
Speaking of performances, this reminds me about a performance I saw some years ago. Dimitri. Oh, a very fine dancer. I I caught one of his more earlier performances where he was not exactly used to the stage quite yet. He was very strong, very limber, danced across the stage. I had the front row, but I was just close enough that when his toes bent slightly a bit too far, and I could hear them crack. His white shoes were beginning to stain a little bit of pink. And I was close to the stage. Close enough that when they started to leak through entirely through the material, the satin, a little bit of blood flecked on my face.
Amazing. So, I think from that particular memory, I think we come back to the present and see blood flecked in a similar pattern on your face as you do the humane thing for these men and stand up. And Sir Atticus, while Dr. Weiss is occupied at the moment, what are you doing?
Post-violence clarity, just trying to figure out how we're dealing with the King in Shadows, where the performance has probably already started. So right now it's just a matter of, I mean, if we can get to the theater in time and maybe get some clues about the crew who's running it or the roles that we're supposed to fulfill, then maybe we have a chance of closing this out before it gets worse. Not at all paying attention to the violence that was ensued or whatever John is doing. They are no longer a threat. They are no longer worthy of hunting.
I think, yeah, I think as you're contemplating this, it's darker than it usually is.
For London?
Yeah. I think beyond the gas lamps that are somewhat illuminating this place where you find yourself in, when you look up at the night sky, I think you see nothing. No stars. No moon. Not even clouds. Just inky blackness. And then perhaps as you're staring up at this strange emptiness, I think you feel a shove as you almost get knocked over by something that is not seen. Ernest.
Hello?
Oh, Sir Atticus. Oh.
Ernest?
No, please don't grab. Please don't reach. Can I have your jacket, sir?
Yeah. In a single swift motion, just kind of toss it to where I think you are, and it probably still misses, because this is who you are.
I pick it up, shake it off, and then wrap it around myself, not even putting my arms in the sleeves.
I think you notice that, as Sir Atticus has taken off his jacket with a flourish, I think you see the muscles flexing underneath the shirt. And the shirt is partially open. Quite dashing.
Oh, I think I might finally be free of it. The play is the thing that will drive you mad. What day is it, sir?
My God. Is that where you fit? Oh no. It is John.
It is Friday, the 14th, the 8th month.
Are you yourself?
I have seen myself in better days. I think if I sleep for a while, I might be able to help shut down this god-awful production, but the course got into my head. Doctor, hello. God, what happened to that man there?
As John and Harley are moving the bodies out of the street, so we could get the carriage moving again.
Oh, we were waylaid by some vagabond ruffians and the like. They were dealt with swiftly.
I did warn them that they would probably die. Or be maimed enough that death would be a kindness.
But can I just, I'm just going to interject for half a mo. I'm going to say that, yeah, I'm going to give this to you. Dr. Weiss, as you were riffling through their stuff, themselves, actually, go ahead and roll me an information move, please, with reason.
Were they hired by the King in Shadows?
Question. Is this referring to their bodies or their pockets? Because that...
Pockets.
Okay.
Pockets.
Okay.
Rifling through themselves. had some intestinal sort of implications there.
Well, I mean, Dr. Weiss is kind of ghoulish, but I mean, but pat them down first. I don't know.
I'm
We
with
have found a lot of weird stuff inside of people during this campaign.
That's true. That's very true. I'm
Uh,
sorry. Go ahead.
technically speaking, I do have a move that allows me to find clues for bodies, but this is not that. And frankly, I don't think I would get disadvantage from Harley because Harley is also there,
Yeah.
and B, Sir Atticus just killed a bunch of people, so, and Ernest is an invisible man. I don't think I would get disadvantage from that.
Yeah.
Is this with reason?
Yes, totally.
Then it's 10.
Nice.
I only killed like one guy, one specific guy. The rest of the
You maimed most of them.
yes, very much. 100% would do it again. Will do it again.
I know you will do it again.
Okay.
I'm actually enjoying the fact that Ernest now has only the jacket in more of the Mickey Mouse like pants versus.
Okay.
Sorry.
Or Donald Duck, right? I mean, like
Yes,
pants.
the inverse of.
Yeah.
Once I get out of the shower.
Oh my gosh. Alrighty. I think I got this. So I think in the pockets, whether it be you that finds it, Dr. Weiss, or Harley, you find this, and this has to do with the St. Petersburg mirror.
That's
I
just
know,
funny.
but I mean, it's like I know it's odd, but I'm already odd, so take it, run with it.
I know why we're getting this from the St. Petersburg mirror, because I realize who these guys are. They're not. They're the Goon Squad. I love them.
What?
Don't worry
Anyway.
about it.
Don't worry about it. All right. So anyway, you find what looks like a weird device that you might recognize from some of the charlatans from like the fairs, or from like maybe some old colleagues that would play around with this kind of crap. But I mean, like, yeah, like, place to put a candle, like, like something to put a mirror, and then like, something to just project an image of a ghost. Somehow the world has turned in this interim, and there are stars back in the sky now.
Okay.
And I think you hear the ending of Act 2, where, Ernest, you hear like what sounds like the theme that they would have when the boatman would row the protagonist, the journey woman, down the River of the Dead, basically. And yeah, you hear the ending of that theme, so you're close by Society Obscura, and you know that it's the end of Act 2. There's still time to get there for Act 3 if you want.
Well, we could probably sneak in as the curtain rises on Act 3. Or I could just perform it for you out here because I have memorized the entirety of that silly esoteric nonsense that I think has been spoon-fed into my poor adult brain based on your reaction, Sir Atticus, for days.
Yes, you have been gone for days here. But wait, hold on. You're saying how many people are in this play? You can do all of them? Do people do that? I can't say that in the theater.
Why don't we just crash the play and stop all this nonsense?
Well, on the one hand, now that
That's a
I'm
better
thinking
idea.
more clearly,
Actually, yes.
we don't risk going into the mind-altering hellscape of whatever is going on at the society while the play is in operation.
Well, we're haunted at the very least, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, but on the other hand, Ernest has laid himself upon the rack in terms of absorbing as much as possible from this play.
Because that's Ernest. Like, he's just obsessed with theatrics and whatnot.
Exactly. And what is this king in shadows if not a theatrical threat? I am willing to judge.
You all hear applause coming from around you, above you, below you.
I take off my shoe and throw it at like the invisible audience.
You're gonna throw shoes.
Sorry.
You
hear from bravo, bravo.
Thank you. We should leave right now.
Yes, we're already in it already, so let's ruin this monstrosity.
Is Ernest well enough to actually go and crash Act 3, or does Ernest prefer to reenact like one-man show King in Shadow?
Oh, I think that he is acting much more squirrely than he actually is. He probably feels much safer in the theater, it being familiar, like a drug addict at this point.
Perfect. We're going back in then. That's the more ambitious choice. Let's crash Act 3.
No, but listen, we have to stop it. So here, and I take off Sir Atticus's jacket and I hand it back to him.
And I walk forward, but they cannot see that I have left.
Your mic changed. Is that intentional?
Did my mic change?
Yes.
Oh.
Sounds hollow-ish.
1000% not intentional. I love when technology fucks with me. Bear with.
No, not a problem.
Dr. Weiss will go back to reclaim his shoe.
And I think that you see the pooling of the blood as the gas lamps still show light. And maybe the stars have come out, or the moon, whichever. But you do see a reflection in the blood pools that are remaining. And in one of these small pools, I think you will see, looking down, grabbing your shoe, you will see a woman dressed in an ornate gown with a ruff that looks like the top of a heart as she's looking back at you in this reflection, Dr. Weiss. And that is your mastermind clue.
Nads, I thought you wanted to get your last threat in.
I mean, I have no choice. I mean, like, Atticus rolled 14 earlier.
It was
so
a night move. We're good. We're cool.
I mean, it's special, though. I mean, like, I'm okay. I mean,
Okay.
This seems quite fitting, actually.
My offer still stands. You could just downgrade the result and give us each a mask back. It's only fair.
Don't do it, Mads.
Liat, the voice of reason.
Wait a minute. Liat is the voice of reason, but she has absolutely no conditions. Stay strong.
I will persevere.
I know. That's great. Oh my god.
I will keep calm and carry on.
More British than the British. I love it. Oh my god. Oh, this is great. I'm so sorry. I'm losing the plot right now. Okay. Yes. All right. Dr. Weiss saw that. Ernest is... So, are you guys heading back to the play? Okay.
Yes.
Heading back to the play. In the meantime, gonna go back to Liat. You sent Abdurrahman to check out whatever the disturbance was. And you have wiped down the face of Tommy Rawhead. And he asked you, why do you care?
Oh. You asked me why I care? Well, from one abomination to another. I care for all those God forsakes. He has cursed us to live on this infested rock, teeming, struggling to survive, and, well, pitting us against one another, pitting us against vermin. So why would I not care? You are, if nothing else, like children to me. I have been here since the dawn of man, and yet I've seen so much come and go in my day, and so much ruin come to pass. Many think that I'm cold or uncaring. It's quite the opposite, really. I care far too much. I feel far too much. And that is why I amuse myself, entertain myself, because, well, when you get to be of a certain age, and you will get to be of a certain age, I'm sure, Mr. Rawhead, those things will start to bleed into this ugly gray. You never really want to lose those beautiful nuances of color. You don't want everything to become that ugly, sludgy gray of emotion. Oh, you should always feel, you should always know what you're feeling, how you're feeling, and express how you're feeling. I express my sympathies, my desire to be compassionate, to care, when I can, when I so choose to, because I can, because I do so choose to.
The stag's head will lower until the sockets are looking right at you. And one of its creaky, bony finger will reach out towards your face. Not touch it, but just reach out towards you and say, "What do you feel for when it is between me and the hunter?"
She takes Tommy's clawed hand and presses it against her cheek. I'm not entirely sure just yet. And if that's not perhaps the answer you were looking for, but that is the answer I must give, because it is honest. Now, run along. I know you have much work to do. You're a very busy creature, and there's much to do in this very busy city.
You feel the claw against your face. It's hard, it's twiggy, it's like dried, dead branches against your face. But yet, for a moment, when you say that, when you say it's honest, you feel a sudden warmth as if it's someone touching you in a way of comfort. And then you see on the stag head, coming from one of the eye sockets, what looks like a bloody tear running down its bony cheek. Atticus, at that moment, I think you feel something wet on your cheek as well.
Probably a similar tear.
No, it is a tear of blood. And you wipe it away.
There's a hunt to do.
And Tommy Rawhead will leave you and go out into the night. The last unseen. Sarah, in a gin palace later in the evening, sex workers and actors sit side by side, enjoying a drink after a busy night. How do we see the kinship they feel for each other?
I think that both professions require such empathy and human intelligence that emotional EQ resonates through how they interact with each other in a way that, as you observe each person at the bar, it is difficult to tell who are the actresses and who are the ladies of the evening, as they are all kind of cooing and touching and then trading this velvet duster for that charcoal pencil that they happen to draw a mole or a freckle here, or the tallow trading recipes that are stained with beetroot juice, or the gentle ribbing of an actor who is whispering in the ear of what could very easily be a courtesan, but is far more likely his leading lady. And as the drinks start to flow, you also see that each beverage also seems to be communal and floats from one to the next as they pick up each other's mistakenly and with ease and no ill intention. And they swap drinks and stories well into the evening until the first light starts to peek above the dirty London town.
All right, so I think as the carriage barrels forward and rolls up, like Harley just makes a comment to you, Dr. Weiss. It's such strange things tonight. What's that you found there? Is that a something to light some cigars? What is that, sir?
It is a device that uses to lie about the strange things that actually do happen within London, confuddling the sort of nature of the world.
It's a right bit of a mess right there. Oh, actually, right mess back there. And on your face, do you need a handkerchief?
No, I'll get it. And I think I pull out like one of my handkerchiefs that smells very intensely of bleach, as though like I've dabbed off blood of my face before.
Ah, because Harley offers you his handkerchief, which is not clean. Let's put it that way.
No, I don't want to take Harley's stuff. Like, I use Harley when I don't want to get dirty.
Got it. And I think as you guys roll up, you hear the beginnings of the of Act 3, as the three courtiers of the occluded king, the Duchess, the Prince, and the Knave, are being introduced. Ernest, I think as you're hearing this, the very familiar tones, the very familiar words, I think you are like mouthing them or maybe speaking them out loud in the same cadence as is going on right now.
I think, sorry, timer. I think that Ernest is murmuring, but trying to maintain some sort of tether, so is going to grab and hold Sir Atticus by the shoulder, and maybe even feeling all of that ripply muscles under that shirt there is soothing. But you can hear in your ear Ernest whispering along with all of the parts.
Yeah, is there any way that we can discern how this play is being run? I mean, we can eavesdrop, but is there like any way we could do an information move on that?
I mean, you can do an information move like on the environs
Yeah.
of the townhouse. I mean, I'm gonna say that again because of the way I had described it in the very beginning, which was they're utilizing the floors, the vertical floors, in such a way that each act is in a succeeding floor. So, like, for Act 3, for the top windows, you can see like the lights. You can hear like through those windows of the topmost floor. You can hear the excuse me, the dirge, the discordant dirge as they're being introduced and all this stuff is happening, and perhaps even you can get a glimpse as the play starts to wind down and they finish introducing the courtiers, and the mask and the crown of the occluded king start to be seen as his form rises up to the uppermost floor. So yeah, I mean, if you guys want to enact an information move in some way around here, you can totally do it.
Yeah, Atticus would, if they're all focused on the upper floors, then Atticus would want to rifle through the lower floors. They're done. No one is paying attention to them.
Oh, no.
So running into the building and then tossing things aside and just trying to find what evidence he can of how this play is being done, what arcane rituals might be tied to it, something like that. So I don't know if that would be sensitivity to find some spooky clues or vitality, because I'm throwing things around.
I'm going to say, because you're trying to do this with urgency, I'm going to say vitality in this case. So you can totally do the whole information move with vitality because you're tossing shit aside and all that. I don't think any of your conditions really fuck around with this at all. I
have no conditions, in fact.
Oh, that's right. You a lovely move. Alrighty. Right. Yeah, go ahead and roll.
Normal dice. I'm very sorry. I rolled an 11 plus 3, which is another 14.
Amazing. Holy cow. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Let me let's see.
Give me something, for goodness sake. Otherwise, Ernest will... this entire thing's been a mess.
Sir Atticus, why are you tossing the place? Why are you doing it so good?
I do one thing very well, John, and that's pick things up and put them down. And sometimes into a grave, but I put them down.
As you're tossing shit around down here, this actually makes sense. I think maybe you've run into some of the rooms completely heedless of what you're doing, because you're just kind of like hearing this background climaxing of Act 3. And you've gone into one of the rooms, you don't even know which one. It's not the jungle room, but one of the other ones, and you're just tossing shit aside. And then out bursting from you moving aside a really big piece of furniture, there is someone in a disheveled suit, looks like a member of parliament, and he's looking completely goggle-eyed and just hair askew, disoriented, and he stumbles into you, or asking each of you as he passes by, "Have you seen it? Have you seen it? Have you seen it?" And you see his face start to look like it is pulsing. Maybe a cheek is starting to pulse. Maybe a part of his head is starting to pulse. Maybe his chin looks like it's starting to go off center, as if something else is growing in its place. And that's your clue.
That is a heck of a clue. And I guess you want to end with the mastermind clue at the end of the session?
Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Because I also have to decide which one it is.
Okay. Yeah. Going to turn to John and Ernest after having been encountered by this member of parliament going through some stuff.
Yeah.
You what?
He apparently saw the play. Ernest, I can't see your face. You're not growing any lesions or anything, are you?
Well, I don't know if I would see them myself. No, I'm fine. It's just I have a song stuck in my head and I can't seem to shake this play. Why? How? We have to stop this play.
Yes, that much is certain.
And the best way that we can really do this is to infiltrate it from the inside. And oh, I know. And then there is no more Ernest dialogue because Ernest was going to leave the room. And I'm going to go find the cowl from the boatman that Rose, the journeywoman. And that is important for Ernest to take from this play before we leave this evening.
Atticus is just standing there in tension, waiting for Ernest to finish the sentence.
I think as you're doing that, and Ernest heads out without saying anything, I think this is where you start seeing the confused members of the audience yet again, like kind of leaving as if they're questioning themselves and each other and just looking around like confused. But you start to notice that, you know, as they pass, all their hoods are up. But for those that you can see their face, I mean, like there is some disfigurement there, as if they are not conscious of it, but it is there.
Yeah, Ernest is absolutely right. This play needs to end.
Yeah. And, Liat, do you watch Tommy Rawhead leave?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I mean, he shambles away as best as he can with his odd looming hulk. And you see
Does he just
this...
go back through the... Oh, go on.
Yeah, I think he'll go back out into the back alley, maybe. Like, he didn't come in through the front. He came in through the back, maybe. And then he will kind of go into the back alley and then kind of drift back into the shadows. But I think as he leaves, I think he'll say something very strange to you. He will not turn back to you to look at you, but he will say in passing, as if on the wind, he'll say, "A tree grows in London."
What tree is this you speak of?
He's already drifted into the shadows.
Hmm.
I think you'll hear a knock at the front door. And then the bell. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding.
Abdurrahman.
He doesn't answer. I think he's still looking for the thing that you asked him to find.
Very well, then. And, yeah, she'll shuffle off, opening the door.
There is no one there. But if you look on the porch, there is a pair of beautiful, perfectly formed glass slippers. Looks like your size.
Still marvel at them. Is there any kind of inscription or any card that came with it?
Nope. They gleam. They gleam in the moonlight. They're of a style that you find attractive for some reason. Maybe there's a etched design in them when you turn them in the light. They look like little hearts.
Oh. If and when Abdurrahman comes back, she will have them sort of presented out on the I guess the coffee table or whatever, wherever we were having tea at.
Right.
And when he returns, she'll say, "Box those, send them to the local charity."
And
Which won't have anything to do with me.
I think he does come back, but he comes back very grainy. Like he was perfectly formed before, but then now it's like his skin has the texture of sand. And in his very grainy hand, he carries what looks like a tiny branch.
What is this? I mean, I know what it is, but where? Why?
He just shakes his head.
She'll reach out and touch it.
It is no longer alive. It is definitely dry. It is desiccated, but if Dr. Weiss was there, he might recognize it as something very similar to a piece he received from a friend. And that is where we are going to end night phase.
I think she just sort of chucks it in the bin.
Ta-da! Okay. And the glass slippers, of course, were your last mastermind clue. Oh my god.
Damn it, Mike.
I'm sorry. I
No, you're
rolled
not.
really well with violence today.
Yeah, you did.
You chose violence and you chose correctly.
Yeah, right? Oh my gosh.
You
Violence
have a
is
certain
not-
set of skills. Atticus.
Oh man.
So for those that don't know, watching the recording, basically what this means is at 15 mastermind clues, all new threats cease. And the hunters will be finishing up all of the active threats on the board, and then we will go into the mastermind threat for the finale of the campaign. Okay, sorry. Dawn breaks. Let's start from the mother. Did the hunters answer a question? No. Did the hunters resolve a threat? No.
No.
Did you experience an echo in the night?
No.
No. Oh.
I didn't do any unseen prompts tonight, so
Yeah, but remember, I mean, I don't care if you use somebody else's, to compare to your hunter scenes.
Mads, literally, so one of the reasons why I remember to do unseen prompts, echoes effectively, is when I do unseen prompts, and I was just having none of that tonight. So
Okay. Alrighty. You do have that option, just remember.
I do. I know.
Okay. Did you have a conversation with the child while no one was looking?
No, I was out of the house.
Well, I mean, this counts for like the day phase beforehand too, so.
No, I was out of the house.
Okay.
Minding Atticus mostly.
Mostly, unless you want to call Atticus my child, but
Well, then this leads to the next question. Did you secretly engage in romantic or emotional behavior at odds with your aloof, illogical exterior?
absolutely.
Okay. God, let's give you something. Damn it. All right. Go ahead and change your elective dawn questions if you so choose. All right. Liat. Hunters did not answer a question, did not resolve a threat. Did you experience an echo in the night?
I thought I did. I'm trying to
thought you
remember
did
what
too.
it was, though.
Was it with the T, I believe?
No, it was something else. It's fine. If I don't remember it, it's fine. I thought I did, though, but it's fine.
Did you appear in London society wearing risque or avant-garde fashion?
In the day phase, I think I did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did.
I think there was something about being backless.
Yeah. Did you secretly show a vulnerable side to someone?
Yeah, to Mr. Rawhead.
That was sweet. And go ahead and change your elected dawn questions if you so choose. Sir Atticus, no answer to question, no resolve on a threat. Did you experience an echo in the night?
No, I did not.
Did you ruffle the thrill of the hunt?
Yes, I was faced with a bunch of brigands and responded with violence.
You seriously did. Did you loudly curse your family's name?
Not this day. I've been doing that pretty frequently, but
Are you
not
sure you
today.
didn't do it in the daytime? I could have sworn you did it in the day.
No,
I mean,
I don't
no.
think so. Like it was surprisingly lack of cursing from Sir Atticus.
I know he's just filled with profanity left, right, and center,
Oh my
like
God.
our lovely British himbo. And besides, my XP track is full. I only
Okay.
it's been left. So
Alrighty. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Okay. And Ernest did not answer a question, did not resolve a threat. Did you experience an echo in the night?
I forgot to fold feathers back into my unseen because that was where I was boa feathers, and then my paint the scene. I think in the first part of the night phase, I think that was where I linked it. So yeah.
Okay.
And then
Did you deliver their soul-searching monologue on the importance of appearances?
I did that whole Hamlet bit.
Yep. Did you dress or act in a theatrical manner in order to draw attention to yourself? Sure.
Big
yes.
old check.
Big old check. Yeah. Go ahead
Running
and take
around
those
both
points.
naked and in silk in Victorian times. I feel like I can't get much more theatrical than me right now.
No. So yeah, go ahead and take those points, and then go ahead and change your elective dawn questions if you so choose. Yeah, nothing was resolved, so no rewards. Answer dawn questions, yep. Any new elective dawn questions? Any playbook or custom moves that we need to resolve? You got the body part, John, and you did relate the memory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Harley is now goes back to his day job.
Okay.
And I picked the other option of no blowback, so
Yes. Okay.
So like that's good.
So I remember my echo.
Oh yes.
The tall, scrawny man and the weird, stout man were supposed to echo John and Mr. Harley.
Oh, love it, love it, love it. Beautiful. Okay. So I'll take that.
Go to a graveyard.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Playbook moves. Okay. And Janus Mass? No, nobody involved any because we were just so frenetic. Oh, that was brilliant. Okay. Yeah. Anything new because it's just more of the same. So we have like 20 minutes. It's like if we want to indulge in some stars and wishes, and then we can end a little early for tonight. People need some rest, I'm sure. And yeah, I saw a lot of stars going in the chat, but I don't want to steal any of them because they were so funny. So if anybody wants to start first, you can go ahead and do so. Stars, what you loved, about anything tonight, and then wishes, of course, of what you want to see for next time. Oh my god.
I don't mind going first.
Great to see you. Star for that.
Hello. Stars for Sir Atticus just being the action hero of his own dreams this entire fucking session. It was great to watch just him in his element. And that kind of supernaturally charged action movie vibe came from a lot of your fucking 14s that you were rolling this evening. So big star there. I had a star in the chat earlier because it's just like a standing star for Mad's throaty creature chuckles. That every time, star. John Weiss on the side of the road, just kind of like with a bicycle pump, getting blood out of these poor bodies. So that visual in my head, also a star. And that tender moment with Liat just clearing the blood from the beast's face. It's lovely to see the nature of her own internal monstrosities kind of being projected out in that way, and it just was really beautifully done. So
star for you, Jack. Wishes. I love vulnerable moves. Let's do that. I can show up for a day phase. I can clear this stupid musical condition that has haunted Ernest for I think that once we solve this particular mystery, like this threat, and I get to clear that condition, Ernest will be able to scrub a lot of this theater off of him and get back to the creepy. So I'm looking forward to that as my wish.
Yeah, to echo Mads' star, welcome back, Sarah. Good to have you back. And then my star for you is also, yeah, you're very, I don't know, it's like you're able to pull references really in a kind of like an immediate way. Maybe you're like low-key a theater kid and I don't know about it, but but no, like the quickness that you have with tying everything into back to the theater, back to the play, and like back to Ernest's backstory as a playwright. It's all really just like seamless and quick and like feels really, really natural. And yeah, it's really good to watch. Like I'm just like, damn, I wish I was that quick. John, and this was kind of a mutual star for both John and Atticus, but I like those sort of like weird buddy cop duos I think that they have going on now. It's very strange, very peculiar. Atticus jumping between carriages is very, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, the movie, not the comic. But it's those vibes. And then like John just sort of leering about, like lurking from the edges. Oh, is that a free body part? But also like still having like the moral compass to say, hey guys, this could go badly for you. You can turn back. He's definitely a vulture, but he's not like a predator in that kind of way. Like he just picks up whatever's left over and he's content to do that. And I think that's an interesting take on the mother. Wishes is to now that we've got all these clues, knock out some threats and get into the end game with this mastermind threat.
Yeah, I gotta give a star for Ernest for getting the exhibitionist to like trigger, because like we have not seen enough of that, so like that was very good. Star for Sir Atticus for coming after me and trying to save me. That was also good. Star for Liat for, out of all of us, getting like some of the more in-depth investigation done this session, which was very, very interesting because it felt like you were in so much danger, but at the same time you were very in control of the situation. So it's very fascinating to see that. Also, like this sort of dichotomy of like framing Liat as like a good moral person in the scene, and I'm just like over here like, what are you talking about? She's the worst. She's evil. And like, but at the same time being recognized as a moral counterpart to the beast, which is just very interesting and dynamic that we see between Liat and Tommy and Sir Atticus, because like it's just like we saw a lot of like the viciousness of Sir Atticus, so like the dichotomy of like these scenes with each other was very, very interesting. And yeah, John and Sir Atticus have a buddy cop thing. It's more of like a lion and a hyena, like effectively, like they work well in tandem, but boy, they don't like each other's business all that much. I don't think Sir Atticus would be pleased to know that John is stealing body parts.
No, probably not.
But John lets Sir Atticus kill people anyways.
You pull back occasionally. You're like, whoa, hold on. Let's ask a couple of questions first.
They may know something while they're still alive.
Did you have any wishes before I jump in?
Wishes to clear these fucking conditions. Oh my god, I'm in danger. Also have vulnerable scenes with Ernest. Like, goddamn, we do not see enough of Ernest. I need to know who Ernest is more.
There's a lot there that we need to excavate in some vulnerable moves. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Especially with Ernest rolling in Jack Sparrow style, smelling of American tobacco, being like, "Sup? I cracked the case of the King in Shadows. Give me your shirt. I don't need it anymore. I'm gonna leave now." Like,
100% what happened.
it is. He's strolling like legit between Ernest and Liat. Like, they have handled most of the detective work while John and Atticus are just doing violence on the ne'er-do-wells of London. Between Bout Club and these random brigands and everything else, there is a lot of buddy cop.
I just love like how John is built to be like the reasonable detective, but he's not. It's just
It's okay. Two boy failures getting along, doing things well. Another star would be the sort of, like you said, the Rocky Horror effect with the King in Shadows with Ernest just like, I know it word for word. Wait, this is the best part. No, wait, this is the best part.
You got to do this now. You gotta do this.
Exactly. And I think that most of the audience is probably so gone at this point that they would go along with it. Star for John, just being that, no, you do not want any of this, please stop. And then once the weapons come out, no, please stop. Oh no, you're bleeding, what a waste, let me help you.
Just imagine like John with a dustpan.
Legit.
that's how I imagined the scene was going. Instead of like the bicycle pump, I would with like a little dustpan and like some gloves of just like soup.
Yep. No,
Exactly.
stop. Oh, the humanity, and just whisking it into his bag.
And then Harley's there too, just like, wow, okay, finally a boss that like actually gets his hands dirty, about time. I have a wish that like more scenes with Harley, cause just like to get a feel for who Harley is, because right now it's just like, I'm just a guy, I do the crimes occasionally, I'm not gonna ask too many questions about you and your weird friends. I also want like vulnerable scenes with Ernest. The star, as everyone has said, for Liat's scene with the beast. Mads, you made me feel sorry for the beast. Just like this empathetic, like, why
Mark
do
that
you...
O, son.
like the beast was given sentience to be cruel, and you're like, no, I can make this better, and then you did. So I too enjoy the like dark or raspy sort of thing. You did great with it, so thank you. Liat, I always love to see the humanity, or our favorite immortal monstrosity. The sensitivity. And then the spitefulness, like 30 seconds afterwards, when the mastermind gives you a gift and you decide to re-gift it to the nearest charity. Not because you care about the charity, but because you want to spite the most powerful person in the setting right now. That's just the yeah, I think that's it for me.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like all dem stars, because God knows, I mean, bursting stars for sure for all of you, because this was a really fun session tonight, and welcome back, Ernest. So that one definitely was a star. I just felt like I kept on hearing in the background for me watching Atticus and John, kept on hearing like, this shit got real. And it's just like the Bad Boys theme. And I've not seen the movies. It's just like the memes. And yeah, just like thinking of the predator and the scavenger. It's like, predator takes care of the business and the scavenger just looks around to see what's left, and then they have that kind of strange relationship going on. So I enjoy that very much, even though it is really weird. And yeah, with Ernest, it's like, again, just the immersion into it. I mean, like, you ran with it. I mean, like, I just said, okay, well, this is probably what he's been doing, and then you just ran with it, Sarah, and it was just so perfect and so easy to just kind of like, have you come back in, explain what's going on, and then like having you go through that whole surreal thing back at the night tap, and then you run away once it got really like to your edge, or maybe Ernest's edge. I don't know what your edge necessarily is, but yeah, Ernest was like, I'm out, I had enough, I'm gotta go. And then like, you just again took it in stride, really. I mean, it was great. Weird little mini star for chaotic, for you mentioning it's like, we haven't seen Ernest, we need to see more of Ernest, and I'm just thinking this is just such an ironic thing to say. with the unseen.
I have felt that way a lot, actually.
I know, it's great. I'm like, I just love it. And then, oh man, Liat, get away with shit. She keeps on getting away with shit, but goddamn, when she's tender, what I've seen with all of the undeniables is that they're horrible to regular humans because they consider themselves such above them. But when it comes to the monsters or something out of the ordinary like them, they are the most tender beings. I mean, like when Ben played the Undeniable last season, I mean, like, he had a tenderness for animals, and it was something that, and monsters.
He was very horny for them, I think.
That too. But I mean, again,
not
there's
the
just
animals,
the monsters, right? Exactly.
Oh, okay. I was gonna be like, no, do not, sir.
No,
it
no,
is
no,
a
no.
zoo.
No. It's no. He was friends to the animals, but he was definitely into the little, like the literal horniness of dealing with the monsters. So it was great. But yeah, I mean, like, Liat just has just so much more humanity once dealing with these creatures. I guess humans are just tiring and exhausting because of, their failings and their consistent habit of doing the worst. But then the monsters, even though they do their worst, that is the most honest self for them. So I think that that was a really cool scene, that cool set of scenes that we had with Tommy Rawhead and Liat, and I really enjoyed that a lot. So, and our wonderful himbo. I mean, trying to give you some action, but also like, give you a chance to try to think on all this strangeness, and then you're still kind of like, this is what we need to do, and we need to act on this, and then, yeah, I just love Sir Atticus. I'm gonna be very, very sad, when it's time to say goodbye, whether that be just before the mastermind threat or during, I don't know. Oh my God, gotta get you hanging on by your fingernails, man. But yeah, I really enjoyed like everything everybody did today for the most part. So, yeah, wishes. Yeah, I want to see some vulnerable moves, because God knows it's like we missed seeing more of Ernest. So want to see that more with the others, so this way they have a chance to interact. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at these sessions. We have not next week, but the week after. So the 17th, and then not playing again for another 2 weeks until the 8th. And then we have the 15th. And that's 3 sessions to figure out what the heck you guys are doing with this stuff. You got 3 threats on the board still that you have to close before we can get to the mastermind. So we may be shifting into the new year to finish out Stars and Suns season 2, and I'm going to be so incredibly sad. I'm excited but sad. Goddamn, guys, you have no idea. So I think that's it. Yeah, my God. What a ride. Yeah, so excited for more for next time, which is the 17th, again, 2 weeks from now. And man, I really love these characters. Oh my God. Okay, I'm not gonna cry. I'm gonna wait until the mastermind threat to cry. All right, that's good. It's all good. Anybody have anything else they want?
it was good to be back, though.
No,
It is.
totally good.
Looking forward
Absolutely.
to the next session.
Absolutely. Okay, so you guys have happy gaming for the next couple of weeks, and then we will see you back here.
Oh,
17?
my
Yes.
between campaign with Jason picks up tomorrow. I get to put Victoria back on again, and that is going to be some kind of exciting.
Nice.
All
Very
right, well,
cool.
I love
Alrighty.
you all. Bye,
All right.
everyone.
Bye.
Have a good night.
See you guys.